Hello and welcome to the European podcast from sportsbet.io. This is the Serie A episode for the week, but don't forget there is a La Liga, a Bundesliga, Champions League, NFL, loads on the Clubhouse TV channel for you to keep an eye on. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course comment if you've got any questions or any comments, then stick them in the chat as well. Be nice. We're joined as always by Daniele Veri, our good friend over in Italy. Daniele, we will start with AC Milan against Empoli. AC Milan got through against Slovan Bratislava in the end midweek. We're recording this, by the way, on Wednesday morning, so there is a round of Champions League fixtures still to come. It wasn't convincing against Slovan Bratislava, and it's off the back of a couple of draws as well for them.
Yes, I think you can say that in the end, AC Milan deserved to win the game in Bratislava. They won 3-2. They got Leao on the score sheet. Again, it's their third consecutive Champions League win, and now the calendar and the fixtures ahead look, let's say, bright or doable for them. So potential qualify or at least reaching the playoffs looks more than doable for AC Milan now. What still look undoable or impossible is their defense. I mean, the two goals that they conceded yesterday, they were attacking basically. They lost the ball at the 16 meters or 20 yards or whatever it is in English. So penalty area of Slovan Bratislava, and they conceded twice with counterattacks. Incredible, with the defensive line not high up into the pitch, with the defensive line basically inside the penalty area of Slovan Bratislava. So it's incredible the way they conceded two goals. I think you can say that they deserve to win, as obviously Fonseca underlined. So we dominated and we deserve to win. He said yes, but I mean, AC Milan still honestly don't have a balance within the team. I mean, we've seen how important Fofana is for the team, but if you look at the first goals, they conceded the 1-1 in the first half. They were attacking, and all of a sudden, with two men, they got counter-attack, and the only one running after the opponents was Reinders. So it's been incredible. All the defenders were so high up into the pitch that, I mean, if you lose the ball, then, I mean, the other players, the opponents also have legs to run. So this is quite incredible not to understand that. And I don't know. So this is something that a manager has to recognize, since it's been happening from the beginning, since the beginning of the season. It has to address that and it has to fix that. It's incredible that they still concede such goals. The second one is exactly the same. So there might have been or not a fall at the beginning of the gameplay. So Leao got probably fault somewhere up in the pitch. But I mean, losing the ball and then just leaving prairies, it's incredible. It's incredible from AC Milan. So it's even difficult to say they will play at home. Empoli will obviously not do the game. They will defend low into the pitch. I don't know if they have the speed and everything to win in Milan. But I mean, if AC Milan takes to the pitch with the same attitude they did in Bratislava, maybe it's not Empoli, but any better club comes away with a win. Huh?
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
Empoli are tough to beat as well, and in Jacopo Fazzini,
they are.
And Jacopo Fazzini, I just want to very quickly touch on the midfielder, the youngster, because he's starting to make a bit of a name for himself in this Empoli side.
He is. I don't think he's going to play at the weekend because he's out injured, Fazzini, so I don't think he will take to the pitch the weekend, but he's a good player. He has already proved it also last season. So I think it's this third season where he proves and demonstrates that he's got what you need in order to play top 5 football. So this year should be the one in which he finally, let's say, shine through. Yeah, exactly. So let's see what happens. I mean, Pellegrini's on fire at the moment in Empoli. He's been scoring goals very regularly in the last period. I thought that Colombo would have a great season this year. Colombo, the other striker, basically, not all the other one. They also have Shomurodov. Solbakken, sorry, not Shomurodov. But I thought he would have a great season, but he's still a bit struggling. And this Pellegrini fantastic run of games is probably going to put even more pressure on his shoulders. But let's see what happens. I mean, AC Milan have to be considered favorite. They are favorite, and they should come away with a win in the end at the San Siro against Empoli. So I do expect Milan to get the 3 points. So that's not the issue. But still, it's difficult to predict team. You never know what happens with them. So
I think a draw. I'm going to go with a draw in that one. I think Empoli can get a point in that.
Potentially, yeah.
I'm not sold on AC Milan, particularly in that game.
No, I mean, we've seen the game against Juventus. It was a terrible game. It was just a terrible, boring game with no chances at all in 90 minutes of play. It should have been a potential, I don't know, let's say, statement for the health of Italian football. But then, I mean, I was commentating on the game, but I was almost tempted to turn off the television and commentate without pictures. It was terrible.
I did a very minor game in England last week, Harrogate against Blackpool, and the game was bad enough for me to feel the same way as well. I was just kind of... Let's get this game.
Yes. Sorry, mate. If you told me Hartlepool versus...
No, it was Harrogate against Blackpool in very...
Okay, Harrogate, sorry, against Blackpool, sorry. I mean, fair enough. We are talking AC Milan Juventus, so you would expect them, at least them, to play some proper football. I mean, if Blackpool at the moment don't play great football, okay. I don't take it personally.
First win for them since September in the league. Last night, Blackpool. If everyone cares, it's a Serie A podcast. But...
No, we do care, mate. We always care. We always do.
That game was bad. That AC Milan game was poor. We'll move on to Fiorentina as they host the other Milanese side. Inter, it's fourth against third. The Artemio Franchi is not always an easy place to go, particularly at the moment.
No.
Fiorentina have won 5 in a row at home. Are you surprised by Fiorentina's season so far?
Yeah, I am surprised. I do know, and I did know that they got a good manager, that they bought Gudmundsson, who hasn't played much of a role so far because he was out injured almost all the time. He might be able to come back for part of the game now at the weekend, but he is a great player and he will prove himself during the season. I knew that, or I had the opinion that Palladino was a great manager. He's a great manager and he's proving that. But I mean, when I heard that they paid 17 million for Moise Kean, I said, okay, they had 17 million too much on the bank account that they needed to get rid of, because I would have never expected him to score with such regularity. And I mean, I'm sure he feels central and important in the project, and he lives of this confidence that he's receiving also from manager and club and everything. He was never really at the center of any project where he's been. Let it be Everton, let it be Paris Saint-Germain, Juventus, obviously. I mean, so he's doing extremely well. So either I do change my mind, I'm still in the process, or he's been very lucky. But you can obviously not say that he's been very lucky, because he's been performing, not only scoring dodgy goals, he's been performing. So fair on him. So congratulations. So I will eventually, let's say, or I will have to change my mind, whatever. But Fiorentina have surprised me, yes, because they're solid at the back. I think they only conceded 10 goals so far. They're solid at the back. They bought Colpani from Monza, was a good player. They spent money in the summer. They spent money, and that's paying off. At the moment, it's paying off. So congratulations. There is a project behind it with the new Viola Park, training center, blah, 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 and everything. So they have a wealthy owner, because, I mean, Rocco Commisso is a very wealthy American owner who's in love with the club, who is investing money and everything. He's also been selling very important players in the last few years. So he's also having a look at his bank account. It's not only...
if you replace them with cheaper players who can do the job, then that's the way that a club like Fiorentina have got to operate, isn't it? I mean,
Fiorentina, Lazio. I mean, it's not the only team who come up with ideas. We have to say Juventus also. because after, I mean, obviously Juventus can afford buying a player like Nico Gonzalez or a player like Cope Miners, Cope Miners. So they also have the money. But, I mean, compared to the years with Andrea Agnelli, things have changed a lot. So wages have been reduced.
Are we expecting Inter? I mean, obviously they beat Leipzig in the Champions League last night as we're recording. That's what I think makes this game really interesting. Fiorentina's home games have had loads of goals. Inter just sort of getting the job done. I mean, outside of that win at Verona, of course, but they're getting the job done most of the time. Again, I wasn't really desperate just to back Inter to win this game.
I mean, they both have 28 points. So 1 point behind Napoli. So they are both doing a very good season. I mean, it's very good for Fiorentina for the expectation that people have and had in Fiorentina. It's not, you can't say it's very good for Inter, because the Inter with the squad they have, you would expect them to be ahead of Napoli and to have a few points maybe advantage, whatever. It hasn't happened for a variety of reasons. Okay, no problem. But still, I mean, they're top of Champions League, unbeaten, haven't conceded a single goal in the whole Champions League, scored 5 against Verona. So they are finding their way back into stability, solidity, and all that. It's not easy to win in Firenze, not at all. And I think it's never been so open like this time. So you said that Inter have won yesterday against Leipzig. Yes, Leipzig pretty poor. To be honest, I wasn't in San Siro last night, and it was pretty poor from the Germans. Inter played with 8 different players compared to what they did at the weekend against Verona. Fiorentina are playing tomorrow night. They're playing against Paphos from Cyprus. They also gonna completely change the squad. So they're gonna play with a different squad compared to the one who's gonna take to the field on the weekend. So I don't know. It's honestly an open game. So Fiorentina will come in with self-esteem into this game, but self-esteem, Inter won't lack self-esteem either.
No.
So I mean, normally games between Fiorentina and Inter in Florence are quite rich on goals. Normally, okay, so traditionally seen, so to say. I remember 4-3, 3-3, some very nice results, very funny games. But this time we have 2 defenses who are doing very well. So I don't know if that might play a role. I think so, because I think both teams will face each other with respect. Inter and Simone Inzaghi, they obviously understood and checked what Fiorentina are doing at the moment. Palladino won't take to the pitch and say, we're going to smash them. No way, that's Inter. That's a way better team, or at least a squad in the league. So they will both be wary of their opponents. Okay, so I don't know if it's going to be a fantastic game in that sense. There is quite a lot of quality on the pitch, but I guess both managers will have to be wary of their opponents. So.
I mean, it's going to be. I think it is going to be a good game. We'll see. Torino host Napoli as Napoli head north. Top of the table, Napoli obviously with that win over Roma. Torino a bit here, a bit there so far this season. I mean, the last 3 games that Torino have lost, just looking here, obviously they've lost at Roma. Well, maybe not a great result at the moment. They've lost at home to Fiorentina, and they've obviously been beaten in that Turin derby off the back of a 1-1 draw against Monza. This was quite a simple one for me, I thought, Daniela. I thought Napoli win this game quite comfortably.
I think they will come away with a win. Because, I mean, same for Torino, but Antonio Conte didn't have to play at midweek. He can train with the squad. He's working silently, so you don't hear much during the week of claims or screams or whatever from Napoli. So they are working hard, definitely. I mean, they're not a spectacular team, to be honest. So you don't watch Napoli and then come away with, blinking eyes from the
yeah.
football that you've seen. It's it's Antonio Conte get the job done. Very, very, very solid at the back. Still, they can attack. They can produce chances. Against Roma, who defended quite deep with Ranieri, they didn't have many chances, but they took advantage of the one they created. But Roma never had. You never had the feeling that Roma could be dangerous for Napoli.
Nah.
So the feeling was, okay, if Napoli scored, then they're gonna win, and if they don't, then it's gonna finish 0-0, which was what Ranieri wanted, basically, because Ranieri just comes in a terrible period for the club. Now he has to try to draw the games that Roma would normally lose in such a period.
Step forward, isn't it?
You cannot expect him to come in and then change everything like a magic wand. That doesn't happen. Okay, so he has to go slowly, step by step, and we'll see. I mean, they've got Atalanta the weekend.
They have.
They got Tottenham tomorrow. We'll see what happens. But I mean, if we stick to Napoli, I do expect them to come away with a win. Torino not performing at the moment. I mean, they got issues. Zapata injury was a massive blow for them in terms of dangerousness up front. They've got Shaws out. They've got a few players out. And, I mean, they will play a very defensive game against Napoli that will allow Napoli to play up into the pitch, be always close to their to the penalty area, to Torino's penalty area. They will try to come from the wings like they always do, with Kvaratskhelia from one side and Politano from the other one. That's Napoli basically, and be safe. Don't force any play. I mean, but I do see Napoli coming away.
I can't see Napoli. Yeah, I can't see Napoli not winning that game. In truth, it would be a bit of a surprise if they didn't. You mentioned Roma Atalanta, which is going to be the last game we're going to cover this evening, so this afternoon or this morning or wherever we are. The time is escaping me.
Who cares, mate? When we are together, is always nice. So it doesn't matter if it's a morning, afternoon, or evening. It's always nice with you, mate. Any time of the day.
Our chat was so good, I just lose sight of where I am in the world.
Yeah, that's it's exactly what I feel, mate. Exactly.
Atalanta's season continues to be absolutely unreal. They are second in Serie A at the moment. They're scoring an absolute ton of goals. They went to
only 6 last night. Only 6.
Just 6. I mean, okay.
They wanted to score 9, 10, but only 6. It's not much.
I mean, look, we've extolled the virtues. We've praised this team again and again and again so far this season. Even going back to our pre-season preview, where obviously they'd lost a lot of players, but we still felt they were going to do pretty well. Atalanta scoring goals, looking great in Europe, against the Roma side, who again, you as you say, it might be the Ranieri tries to turn this into a draw, but Atalanta again, an amazing value away at Roma for me.
Yes, because I'm not. I don't write algorithms myself, but I mean, algorithms are not only based on what has happened in the last month. So at least for predictions. So obviously you will have to take more things into account. But having said that, if you take a Polaroid, like a screenshot of the situation now, you will say Atalanta will have to come away with a win from this game. I mean, just from the confidence that they have at the moment, that you can see in them. I mean, 6 goals, okay, they played in Bern, in Switzerland, against young boys, but I mean, Inter won, I think 1-0, if I'm not wrong, in Bern against young boys earlier this season. So obviously, I mean, they also have a different attitude to Inter from the off. Okay, if you think of Atalanta, the way they play, the way they take on games is different from the way that Inter do. Okay, just from the way they are set on the pitch, the way they defend on the pitch, for example, the way they attack on the pitch, where the main focus, let's say, of the managers is. So the different managers, because they are different, they think football differently, but they are both successful. So I'm not saying that. But, I mean, Inter go to Bern and want to play. Atalanta go to Bern and want to play. Fantastic. After 9 minutes, they already scored. Inter take it easy, knows that they will score eventually, you know. So don't need to never concede. Don't need to force the game too much. They just take it easy, and they know that at some point they will score. So from that point of view, is a more Italian way of approaching a game, so to say. I mean, Gasperini is a untypical Italian manager, if you want to say that. So
I think it's goals. It looks like a great game to me. But thank you so much, Daniela, as always, for your fantastic expertise. And do bear a little bit in mind the horrible trip that Juve fans have got all the way down to Lecce. I was looking at that travelling distance for the weekend. Yeah. Like 12.5 hours in the car or something like that. It's
possibly, it's far away because Turin lies northwest of Italy and Lecce is southeast. So you go all the way through. And it's a long way. It's a long way, but I mean, you can then go to the restaurant, enjoy some proper fish or something. So
I'm not getting involved in an inter-Italian slag session.
No, come on. We can do also a cooking show. If you want. It would
be absolutely crap if I did it because I can't cook a thing.
Okay, I do it. Don't worry, leave it. You do the questions and I do the cooking, okay?
That sounds genuinely brilliant. We might try that for next week. We will see you next week, Daniele. Thank you, as always, for your fantastic expertise on Serie A. And again, don't forget to look at all of the videos available on the Clubhouse TV channel. And don't forget also to gamble responsibly.